Welcome to my channel. My name is Swish. But before I get started with today's video, I just have a little preamble, as this is the first official video upload to the channel. This recording is of a 3-round league of Vintage Cube Draft on Magic the Gathering Online that I recorded sometime last season as a way to test my OBS settings and my editing process. I recorded this before I really knew what final form my channel would eventually take, so it's a little on the rough side, and I just kind of wanted to give you that fair warning before I started it up. When the next round of Vintage Cube Drafts return to MTGO, I do plan to record some more, but for now, this will be a little preview of what's to come. I hope you enjoy. All right, here we are with another Vintage Cube on Magic the Gathering Online. This is an interesting pack. We have the old Gristlebrand here, one of the better finishing Reanimator cards. Also got Goblin Rabblemaster. Through the Breach goes well with Gristlebrand. Detective's Phoenix goes well with Goblin Rabblemaster. I point that out because if you have cards that fit in the same deck together in the same pack, the likelihood of that second card still being there is lower. And when it comes back around to your turn, that means somebody else might be playing the same deck as you. If I were not to play Reanimator or like an aggressive red deck, Golos is a good lands card. Titania is a good lands card. I think I'm gonna hedge it and go with the Rabblemaster. I think I'd like to play a nice aggressive red deck today. Dragon's Rage Channeler can kind of fit into the aggressive red deck. It's actually a little bit better in like a storm deck, more like a black and red kind of deck where you can put a lot of stuff in your graveyard. We have Tendrils of Agony for Storm. We have Path to Exile, which would kind of support our aggressive red deck. This is just premium removal that doesn't increase your opponent's life total. We've also got Voice of Victory. I think I actually like Voice of Victory. I haven't got a whole lot of opportunity to play with this card yet, but it is aggressive. It's a 2-drop, prevents your opponents from countering your spells. I sure like it when my opponents let me cast spells. Yeah, I think we'll take the Voice of Victory here. All right, we are rewarded for staying in aggressive colors because Ocelot's Pride is one of the better aggressive additions to the Vintage Cube this season. Of course, we do have the big old flying spaghetti monster. Emrakul the Eon's Torn is in this pack. Somebody will definitely pick that up. I think Ocelot's Pride is where it is at, though. Fortunately, not a lot in this pack. We have multiple red cards. We have Delay Blast Fireball, which is very good as a sideboard card. It's kind of like a one-sided Wrath. Usually gives you some advantage. Let you break stalemates. We've got Seasoned Pyromancer, which is a little expensive for this kind of deck. The double red pips versus the single red pip 2 colorless can be very relevant in a deck like this. We've also got Witch Enchanter, which is typically a land. It's typically just a land, but sometimes it's also late game. You top deck it, it's a creature. Or it actually solves a problem that is plaguing you. I think in this scenario, I'm going to take the Delayed Blast Fireball, but it might end up being a sideboard card. Here we have a Galvanic Blast. We want to pick up cheap red removal where we can find it. Burn spells, they clear the path so our attackers can get through, and they also help us win in the late game. So far, a nice aggressive red-white kind of deck forming here. What's this girl? Avora. Does combat damage to a player, create a blood token. When you discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on it. I think that's more geared towards the black-red discard deck. I don't have a lot of discard effects yet. We do have Lion Sash, which is, even if it's not in the main deck, in the sideboard, it's good for anti-reanimator strategies. And also, if we manage to pick up Stoneforge Mystic, it's kind of like a silver bullet. I think it's either that or the Volduran Epicure. I like having additional. I think the Volduran Epicure and the Avora kind of go in the same deck together. Let's go with the Lion Sash. Or it'll just give me the Volduran Epicure because I went to time. Okay, that's fine. I think this is still a card we would play. Chainsaw, very good. Chainsaw is solid removal. We found a Tarfire. Securitron Squadron is actually very good too. It actually goes really well with Voice of Victory now that I think about it. Makes those tokens really aggressive. I think actually, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Securitron Squadron. I would like the Starfire, but I think there are other removal spells available to us. Okay, Detectives Phoenix actually did come back around, which is a very good sign. That means that the aggressive red-white decks, it doesn't seem like we have an opposing drafter who is competing with us for those types of cards. Because there was nothing else really in this pack for that deck that they would have taken. That's a very good sign for us. And I think here we'll just take a land and put it in the sideboard. That's what Ketra is green, blue, red. Yeah, green, blue, red. Emrakul came back around is interesting. I guess we'll take the Oliphant. I don't foresee us playing it, but it's a possibility. Nothing here. We'll just go ahead and take the land, kind of as a hedge. If there's never a card in a pack that you really want, just take the land, because you never know when it might help you fix into something. We'll take the Cauldron Complete as a hedge that maybe we get Stoneforge Mystic. Reno of Glory is an interesting pickup. That's a very good last pick card for us. All right, this pack we have Ancestral Recall. Can we fit blue into this deck? Can we fit blue into this deck? We did pick up the Ketra Triumph. We did get the Ketra Triumph. In theory, we could run this Ancestral Recall. There's not a whole lot else in this pack that we really want. Enduring Endurance is a little bit of a win more card. It's kind of expensive for what it does. But you do get to draw some extra cards with it. Like, you have to play creatures to draw the cards. If you're playing creatures, then you already have creatures. Embereth Shieldbreaker is another card that we would want for this deck. All right, we're going to take the Ancestral Recall. There may be a universe where we don't get to play it, though. We have Solitude, and we have Jackrabbit. We also have Kellen, Planar Trailblazer. There's also Swords to Plowshare. It's kind of funny we have Solitude and Swords to Plowshare in the same pack. I think, especially since we have the Securitron Squadron, Jackrabbit is probably the card that we really want. Just making a bunch of 1/1 tokens that just come in with +1/+1 counters. Yeah, it's just a good synergy right there. We've got a Firebolt. We have Atami, Sun's Glory. I find that this card is very good, but also has a tendency to come a little too late. We have Skyclave Apparition, and we also have Mother Runes, which are honestly two of the best white cards for this type of deck. I think of these two, we're going to take Mom. Being able to protect our guys is kind of crucial. There's no likelihood that Skyclave Apparition comes back around, but if Firebolt or Atari, is it Atari Otani? Othari, got him wrong both times. If either one of those cards comes around, we'll be pretty happy about it. So we'll take Mom. Adeline is very good here. She makes tokens that pumps up with the Securitron Squadron. General Ferris, again, I just don't know why this card's in the cube. There's maybe like a hidden interaction that I'm missing with this card, but I feel like every time I'm drafting red and white, I look at this card, I'm like, why am I not playing it? And then there's nothing in my deck that fits it. I don't really, there's got to be something that this guy goes with, but Adeline is on her own just very game breaking. We've got Ragavan, and then we've got Ephemerate. I think Ragavan is probably... Oh, man, we've also got Pyrogoid. So many good cards in this pack. We've also got Corey Steelcutter. Oh, man. If any of these 4 cards come back around, I would be happy about it, but having it all in the same pack is kind of rough. I have not actually gotten a chance to play with Corey Steelcutter yet. Yeah, I have not got a chance to play with this card yet, so I'm going to take it. I don't necessarily think it's the best out of these 4 cards, but I want to get some more reps with it. This pack has Lorn of the Third Path. We have the Mishra's Bauble to kind of go with the Corey Steelcutter. I think I'm going to go with Lorn of the Third Path, though. Just a solid creature on her own. Lightning Bolt is the premium of premium burn spells. Also got a Robber of the Rich. Cool if that came back around. Right now, it is not looking like we are going to get to play this Ancestral Recall, but I will hold it off to the side here. I've got Tersa Light Shatter. Tough one to say. Tersa Light Shatter. Yeah, that's fine. think what we're missing for this deck right now is something like a City of Traders or an Ancient Tomb. Just something that we can cast these like 3 mana red creatures on turn 2. We got Ember Shieldbreaker. This is our original pack. We'll gladly take that. Still looking like red is open, which is nice. We'll take Kellen here. The Firebolt came back around. I think we're going to take that over Atari. Yeah, we're just going to take the Firebolt here. We're not going to play General Ferrex, but we'll put him in the sideboard, I guess. Goblin Bombardment is fine, especially if we got a lot of tokens. We can play that. Pyrokinesis might make the cut. We'll see how it goes. And then this guy will not be playable for us. If we can find any other reasonable blue fixing, I might run blue just for Ancestral Recall. But it's really going to matter whether or not we can either find a way to fetch this Ketra or if we find another blue-red or blue-white land. There's City of Traders. We could do Steam Vents, which would let us play Ancestral Recall, but City of Traders really opens our deck up. We've also got True Soul Gut and Umezawa's Jitte. Static Prisons in this pack. So there's a lot of good stuff that could come back around to us. City of Traders is the least likely to come back around to us, and we kind of need it for our early starts. So we'll take it. At this point, we have very little fixing for this deck anyway. We have no red-white lands. We didn't see any either. It's not like we passed it looking for something else. So we might be kind of prioritizing it in pack 3. For example, there's an Inspiring Vantage. Get Lost is good removal. Generous Plunder is a good aggressive creature, but we've kind of got a lot of creatures. Yeah, I think we're just going to prioritize fixing if we can. There's a Sunbaked Canyon for the same reason. We got Magda. I think, again, we're just going to prioritize fixing. So there's some considerations here. We have Snapcaster Mage for Ancestral Recall, which is just hilarious. We've also got Cathar Commando, which is just an aggressive 2-drop creature. I know I should not do this. I know that I should not do this, but I'm doing it. We'll see how this works out. There's Stoneforge Mystic. We've also got Flage, though. Stoneforge Mystic currently finds Chainsaw and just Chainsaw, I guess. Oh, there's Cauldron Complete. Yeah, I think that's better than Flage because of the Cauldron's Complete. There's a likelihood that that could come around, too, because it doesn't seem like anybody else is in those colors. Yeah, we'll take the Stoneforge Mystic. That means we'll put Cauldron Complete back in the deck somewhere. We have Winds of Abandon and Amped Raptor. We don't have any of the other energy producers for Amped Raptor, but I think, how are we doing on removal? We've got Galvanic Blast, Lightning Bolt, Firebolt, Chainsaw. Yeah, I think actually Winds of Abandon here is kind of necessary just because we don't have any, like, just straight up remove a creature. We just have burn spells. So if we run against like one of those decks that just has like big green monsters that we can't burn through, we kind of want that. Unholy Heat, however, in the vein of red spells that just burn creatures, is probably worth taking. There's a Sacred Foundry, but we do have Kari Zev here. Kari Zev combines with Securitron Squadron. If True Soul Gut comes back around, she combines really well with True Soul Gut. But I think I am pretty good on playables. I just want to make sure that I can cast my spells. Of course, there is True Soul Gut. We didn't take the Amped Raptor, so we're not going to take the Static Prison here. We'll take True Soul Gut. It goes well with our City of Traders. Something like a red fetch land would be really nice with this Sacred Foundry, because then we could also fetch Ketra and then maybe run our blue cards. Don't think I'm running Oliphant or Pyrokinesis. I'm going to start cutting little things that we don't think we're playing right now. Lorn of the Third Path might be a sideboard card, as will Embereth Shieldbreaker. Get Lost came back around. I think I like that over Mana Tithe. Just a good, unconditional, get something out of the way kind of card. I guess, honestly, between these two, I don't think I'm running either of these. Unexpectedly Absent is probably more likely to come in. And I guess we could run Chandra. Blage did come back around, so we hedged there. Pretty good. Amped Raptor came back around. And we're not playing Omnath. All right. Let's go ahead and move our lands out of the deck. I think that it's pretty obvious that we can't run blue. We didn't get the fixing for it. And then we should probably cut down to about 25 cards. I think Chandra might be a little expensive for what we're trying to do. Delayed Blast Fireball could be a sideboard card. That puts us at exactly 25. Got a decent curve here, mostly. So this is technically a 2-drop. It could be a 3-drop in later games. Pretty decent curve, 1 through 3. Cauldron Complete is just a combo card with Stoneforge Mystic, so we're really just sticking in that 1 through 3 curve. We will run those lands and some basics. What does it suggest? 5 and 5. That looks very symmetrical. I enjoy that. All right, so this is going to be our deck. We'll see you in round 1. All right, here we are for round 1 against our opponent, Bobo001. This is our opening hand. I think this is perfectly keepable. I like this hand a lot. Opponent has a Lutri in the command zone. It's not really the command zone, but it's basically the command zone. We will keep this, and I think we're going to lead on Ocelot Pride. Opponent holding open mana is concerning. Maybe I don't lead on Ocelot Pride and I lead on Kellen, just as a way to draw out a removal spell. It's slightly more aggressive anyway, although it doesn't snowball quite as fast as Ocelot. Okay. Now they're holding open multiple lands. Very concerning. We're going to play the land pre-combat, so we can activate Kellen if we want to. Opponent is pausing on our combat steps, so they may have a removal spell here. They have decided to let me go to combat, and looks like they're going to take 2. All right, we'll see if they have a counterspell here. They do not. They could still have a removal spell, though. Plays green, black, and blue. They've got a Basalt Monolith, so they are ramping of some sort. On my turn, I don't know if I want to play Gut or not, because I don't want to sacrifice either of these creatures for a 4/1. I may just activate Kellen and then leave open Lightning Bolt. And I think that's what we're going to do. Right? We get Kellen trigger. And what's our top card? An Amped Raptor, which we do not have the mana for. Get our Ocelot Pride trigger, and opponent goes to their turn. Opponent is playing a Toxic Deluge. It's quite rude. Quite rude indeed. Then they're going to follow up with Tamiyo, which is a perfect Lightning Bolt target. Goblin Bombardment. Yeah, I guess we'll deploy Gut. Not as good without other creatures to sacrifice, but anything can happen. We could top deck any number of things. And I'll probably want to play Goblin Bombardment before I play Flage, just so I can get the extra damage out of it. It'd be cool if we drew a land and then I could do both in the same turn. There's Detective's Phoenix. Yeah, I think that's the direction we're going this turn. Opponent is playing Baleful Mastery. Right. We'll attack. Kaito, the pain in the butt, is going to stun me. Now we can Goblin Bombardment, then Flage. There we go. Opponent is Dark Ritualing. They are ramping into something gnarly. It is a Bolas' Citadel. They fortunately do not have a whole lot of life to work with, but this could certainly ramp them into a game-winning engine here. They get cut down. Black Lotus is free off of Bolas' Citadel. Delphi Voidwalker is going to shut down Flage because I am 2 cards away from being able to play it. I can chainsaw the Delphi Voidwalker, though. All right, had to pause the system there. I'm just playing Yawgmoth's Will. I'm going to open up chat and apologize for the delay. It is playing a Black Lotus from Graveyard. They are likely in a position to win. You're playing Tamiyo, playing Kaito. I'm not seeing the Storm counter, which may suggest that they don't have just a Storm win here. They're untapping Basalt Monolith. All right, they're 3 life. I could, in theory, just win with this top deck here. I get to discard 2 cards and then draw that many cards. Or I could chainsaw, kill the Doughty Voidwalker. All right, I think we're gonna discard the chainsaw and try to high roll something like a galvanic blast or a firebolt. Discard chainsaw. Find Adeline. All right, we will attack. This forces a block. All right, we have lethal on board next turn. And even if, for whatever reason, both of these creatures don't get through, we have Adeline, which will make another token, which gives us multiple things to sacrifice to Goblin Bombardment. Opponent is getting him a Tameo. This will leave them with absolutely no blockers. Stealthy Voidwalker cannot block non-shadow creatures. They flip Tameo. Or anything... Oh, they can return Toxic Deluge, but they can't cast it. So they're just going to shrink both my guys. That unfortunately still doesn't save them, because that's still 3 damage total, and they don't have a way to block. They are discarding a card to destroy Tessa. We will shoot them in the face with a Goblin Bombardment. Still have lethal on board. Cut down. So now we technically don't have lethal on board anymore, but we do have Adeline in hand. They're going to get one of the cards that we lost with Doughty Voidwalker. They're going to play Tersa. Lets them loot the 2 remaining cards in their hand. Opponent plays the 1 ring. That definitely saves them. We found a land. We will go ahead and try to draw a card. Find City of Traders. And I think, let's see, this lasts protection from everything until their next turn. So we will stop on their upkeep. All right. Can you gain life? They will attempt to draw a card. Then they die. Cool. All right. Against this deck, I think Lorna the Third Path and Embereth Shieldbreaker can both come into play. I think the Stoneforge Cauldron Complete package might be slow. So we'll just cut that entirely for artifact removal. Yeah, we'll run it back like that. All right, here we are. This is a relatively slow hand, but it's got some cool artifact interaction. It's got the Corey Steelcutter. Doesn't currently have anything to combo with it, though. We'd like a 1-drop at some point. Mr. Workshop is a fantastic turn 1 play. Now we're ramping. I think that we will just go ahead and... Well, okay. What we could do, we could destroy Coalition Relic now, which this might be their only colored source. Like, this is a hand that you would reasonably keep if you didn't have another colored source. Otherwise, we could wait till turn 3 and then Corey Steelcutter and then Ember Shieldbreaker to get the token. But I think I am going to hedge on the upside of they kept a hand with Coalition Relic as their only colored source. And then next turn, we can play Shieldbreaker as a creature. But it does have a swamp. Sacred Foundry. We will make it look like we don't have the white mana. Play Shieldbreaker. Next turn, we will probably Flage the Tameo away. They do have the necessary colors, so our Gambit slowed them down, I think, but not necessarily defeated them. No blocks. Black Lotus is a pretty solid draw. Using Black Lotus to draw a card off of the clue. Tameo. Alright. I can, in theory, still attack and then Flage. Therefore, I will. And then Flage. Right. Spellseeker. So next turn, I can play Goblin Bombardment and then Corey Steelcutter. Or other way around. Corey Steelcutter, then Goblin Bombardment. Opponent finds Cut Down off a Spellseeker. There's a Firebolt. We can do this one untapped. Yeah, might as well. Corey Steelcutter. And then Goblin Bombardment to trigger it. And we will attack with just the token. I'm not going to let him just use Spellseeker as a free removal spell. The next turn, I can Gut plus Firebolt, trigger it again, potentially sacrifice a creature to kill Spellseeker if need be, but Firebolt should do it. Depends on what they play here. We can give Gut haste off of Arena of Glory. Toxic Deluge for 2. How dare you? We'll play the Mountain. All right, True Soul gets haste, and we will firebolt their face to trigger Corey Steelcutter. They cut down in response. Then we will attack. Yeah, this is a cool card. I like this. I like that one a lot. Forensic Gadgeteer. Let's see. This will pump the Monk token, but it's not enough to kill the Gadgeteer. Alternatively, I could play the Epicure, make a blood token. Yeah, I think we're just going to take the damage here, firebolt their face, trigger prowess. Now I can attack in. Opponent could take the damage or take the chump block. Opponent is looking like they don't have a play this turn. Oh, nope, they got something. Their second main phasing us. They're putting Lutri in hand. That's fair. All right, there's Tessa. Play the Epicure. Then we'll play Tessa. And that wins the match. Alrighty, we'll see you in round 2. And we're back for round 2 against our opponent, Da Wu Tang. I've heard that is not something to mess with. This is an okay hand. 2 lands, reasonable amount of spells. A lot of removal, actually. Ocelot's Pride, Goblin Rabblemaster, Goblin Bombardment. Yeah, we'll keep that. Sacred Foundry. We'll play the Vantage, and we'll just start with our best 1-drop. Likely going to get dunked on by some sort of removal spell, but we'll see how it goes. Lightning Bolted on my turn. And this guy, yeah. I believe we will respond in kind. We could play the Amped Raptor here, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and before this guy starts to grow, I'm going to play Sacred Foundry tapped, and we will Unholy Heat this guy. Next turn we get Rabblemans. Lila. Might have been worth holding up red for Galvanic Blast. Alright, we will Rabbleman. In theory, if we have to, we can remove her with a double burn spell. But I think that we are just going to be content to trade for a little while. Broadside Bombardiers, that's a beating. Imagine he plays that this turn. Yeah. Fortunately, did not get to attack, so it doesn't get to throw anything at me. So I think firebolting him now, good plan. And I think playing Goblin Bombardment here, there are a few things he could play mid-combat without having any lands open, but not many. Getting in for 5 now. Winds of Abandoning my Rabbleman. I think I would rather have the point of damage than the extra land. So I will Bombardment. City of Traders. Okay. Try the Amped Raptor. That's what we get. We found Flage. We cannot cast. Player land. We'll get in for 2. And I think what I might do is block with Amped Raptor. This will be a 6/6. I'll need to do 4 damage. I can Galvanic Blast and then pitch both goblins to kill it. That's going to be dependent, of course, on what they play on their turn. Let's see if this works. If we've got a removal spell, we are kind of sunk here. We are not sunk. We are quite afloat. Magda. Securitron Squadron. Holy heck, how big can this guy get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So we can make 1 token. That'll be a 3/3. Or we could Firebolt the Generous Plunderer and attack in with the Amped Raptor. I think that is what we are going to do. Elspeth Stormslayer. That is going to be hard to beat. That is going to be hard to beat. 2. There's Epicure. So we could do both of these. Alright. And it has to throw a token in the way. Fortunately, Elspeth is not a removal spell for most of our deck. Most of our deck cost 3 or less. So really only the cards that cost 3 are effective as a removal spell. Alice Jailer. Opponent gets to Alice Jailer, I think, rather than hitting their face with Goblin Bombardment, because this is a token, this is going to cease to exist regardless. I'm going to shoot Magda. We will pitch the blood token. Stoneforge Mystic. Stoneforge Mystic, eh? Got some options. We could chainsaw We could Corey Steel Cutter, or we could just Caldra. I think Caldra probably ends this game because they can't remove the creature. They can only remove the like they can only target creatures, and the creature is a token. Yeah, I think we just get Caldra complete, and I think we just offer some trades. This guy's got vigilance, so there's no reason not to attack with him. Yeah, just gonna throw the Palace Jailer in the way. Although the Securitron Squadron would bump the Caldra Complete token, the Germ token, up. Give her runes, and Kellen Trailblazer. Now they get to put a lot of stuff in the way of Caldra Complete, but we don't have the second, or we don't have the third white to do Stoneforge and Adeline. An opponent could have something like a Path to Exile here, of course. And of course, Elspeth can kill Adeline, so might not be the best anyway. This opponent got here. Gonna pump Kellen. It's gonna give him double strike. It's indestructible though, so you're not gonna kill it back. Okay. Opponent's gonna take one. We're gonna get the Monarch. You get Voice of Victory. And in theory, we can well, okay, so our opponent can our opponent is gonna give all of his creatures flying. So in that case, we have to kill creatures in response. So this means he'll get in for 2. And I went ahead and killed the or sacrificed the Stoneforge Mystic as well, just in case he's got a burn spell. I'll float a mana like I've got something to do with it. Does prevent me from casting Adeline. Alright, I think I can just kill them with Goblin Bombardment triggers now. Alright, round 2. Delayed Blast Fireball seems like a good card for this matchup. Pyrokinesis also seems like a good card for this matchup. We will, I think we will remove the Stoneforge package. It definitely won us that game, but now that our opponent is prepared for it, they may save a removal spell for Stoneforge. We'll just bring in the one-sided board sweepers, and hopefully that also gets us across the line. This is a little land heavy. We've only got one creature, and I got a feeling this creature is not going to survive, but we'll see how it goes. Scalding Tarn from our opponent. Amped Raptor is a solid follow-up. And looks like we are losing the Ocelot Pride again. Seneschal of the Suns again. Again, this is a situation where we might want to Firebolt before this thing grows. But there's a possibility that Amped Raptor just finds a removal spell anyway. So we are going to just try to stay on the board. Yeah, cast that. That is a beautiful turn too. Okay, they are attacking. We could block, but then that's going to probably kill our Voice of Victory. We will take the 3, and we will start the trades. Do they have a removal spell for Voice? Death Greeter's Champion. Got it. I think we want to play the Securitron Squadron so we can bump up the power of the mobilized tokens. So we will play the Plains. We will Firebolt Death Greeter Champion. We will play Securitron Squad. We will attack, mobilize 2 tokens. They will both get +1/+1 counters. And our opponent will take a fantastic amount of damage. Fear of missing out from our opponent. 3 card types in graveyard. Still 3 card types in graveyard. Do they attack? Generous play. We find Mom. We're playing Arena of Glory. We can play Delayed Blast Fireball in combat, which may allow First Strike to do its thing. We will attack all out. All right. And then we will play Mom. And that leaves us in a pretty strong position. You have Get Lost to get a blocker out of the way, plus Mom can protect our guy. Detective's Phoenix, I believe, is just game over. And it is game over. All right. We'll see you in round 3. We are back with our 3rd and final round against our opponent, Darn the Doodle. This is A little mana heavy, but not too bad. We got a turn 2 gut coming our way. Yeah, we'll keep that. We are on the draw. We might draw a 1-drop to get with gut. They have apparently skipped through their main phase. Hopefully they get to play a land. And we did. We found Kellen, which we will cast, and then we will turn into a skeleton. We will turn into a skeleton. There's a saga, and it has something. It is a Talisman of Conviction. Lots of colors in this deck. Not quite sure what they're doing just yet. Ooh, Rabblemans. Yeah. I think we would rather have Rabbleman right now. Then next turn, we can turn a goblin into a skeleton. Very spoopy. But we have a very aggressive start here. Opponent is going to get a construct token. That construct token will likely be a 2/2. Or maybe they will just use the mana and not get a construct token. To tinker. Oh no. Oh no, what are we tinkering for? Oh no. Portal to Phyrexia. Oh no. Well, don't think that I have anything that can handle that. Voice of Victory is nice. I think we can play our Sunbaked Canyon, play our Voice of Victory. I mean, we could play Chainsaw here. That does put counters on with the mobilized tokens that die at the end of the next step. I think I will save the Chainsaw for when he portals one of my creatures into play. Likely Goblin Rabblemaster. And I can Unholy Heat the Goblin token that it makes as well. Yep, he gets the Rabblemaster. Master of the Rabbles. See if they want to make a construct token as well. They do not. They didn't even want to float the mana. They get Ether Spellbomb. I think we will just Unholy Heat and prevent him from getting to make the token altogether. In all likelihood, he's probably going to be bouncing the Voice of Reason or Voice of Victory back to my hand. Because he can't activate abilities, he just can't cast spells. Winds of Abandon isn't bad because I can use that on these guys and then he won't be able to get them back with Portal to Phyrexia. See what happens. He bounces. He does not. He is letting me mobilize the dudes. And I will play Stoneforge Mystic then. And get Caldra Complete. Now, I definitely don't want to play Caldra Complete in the face of Ether Spellbomb, but I will chainsaw his Goblin Rabblemaster. Possibly at instant speed with Stoneforge Mystic. But it plays Legion Extruder, so it looks like my Mystic is going to die. Yep. And he can convert artifacts into golems. Get in for 1. Amped Raptor. Alright, how do we play this turn? Our options are Chainsaw the Rabblemaster, attack with the Voice of Victory. He likely bounces, either bounces before I make tokens, or he converts it into a 3/3 token and blocks. Alternatively, I could Winds of Abandon the Goblin Rabblemaster, and then he no longer gets that card. But he's got my Stoneforge and Kellen to get back with Portal to Phyrexia. Or we could Amped Raptor and, in theory, progress our board a little bit. I think we Winds of Abandon the Rabblemaster. And we do not attack into the Legion Extruder. There is, of course, the possibility that if he takes my Stoneforge Mystic, that he's got some sort of equipment in his deck that I don't particularly want him to find, but instead he did get Kellen. Yeah, opponent has Urza. I think that this match is slipping away from us. There was a time period where I was like, oh, we can beat a Portal to Phyrexia, but that time is long past. We did hit the land. All right, our options are to concede, or we could play Gut. We could cast Chainsaw, kill something, probably a Goblin token, and maybe next turn play Gut. Or we could play Gut and then maybe draw a land next turn, and then we get to Chainsaw Amp Raptor in the same turn. I don't hate that. Let's see if he's got a equipment in his deck. Or it's an artifact-based deck. Could easily have an equipment. They do have a Corey Steelcutter in their deck, and they play it. a Occult Epiphany to trigger the Corey Steel Cutter. Let's see what they discard. Discarded a Dak Faden and a Volcanic Island. Now they're going to Spell Bomb. And it looks like they got a big old attack coming in. We will block the Goblin token. That is the thing that he doesn't get back with Legion Extruder, or Portal to Phyrexia. Yeah. Fortunately, I think that is where it ends for us. Hard to beat like a turn 2 tanker, or turn 3 tanker. We will bring in our Embereth Shieldbreaker and our Lauren of the Third Path. It's possible Unexpectedly Absent is okay here. This is a card that doesn't permanently deal with stuff, but it does permanently deal with cards that have been cheated into play, because then it just makes it so they're drawing the card and they don't have another way to cheat it into play. It's just a dead draw. So that might actually be worth it. I think once again, since my opponent knows about the Stoneforge, Cauldron Complete, take those out. And I need to find one more card to bring out. Maybe like the little 2 mana or 2 damage, 1 mana burn spells aren't all that good. Take out Unholy Heat. That's the one that can't go to the face. Yeah, we'll try something like that. Unexpectedly Absent also targets construct tokens, which is good there. All right, let's. Well, this is a hand with no lands in it. This would be a great hand if it had like a land even in it, but gonna have to mulligan that. This is a fine hand. It is a little removal heavy, and it doesn't cast our only aggressive creature. I actually think I have to mulligan this one too. Yeah, I think I have to mulligan this one too, unfortunately. Ooh, oh no, oh no. Yeah, I guess we gotta mulligan that too. This hand doesn't cast anything. We are mulliganing to 2 cards. We will keep. But 4 cards. We get to keep 3. I think I will keep a creature, a removal spell, a land, and then put the rest back. But that was a rough set of things, set of mulligans. And there's a universe where we blood token this Firebolt into the graveyard because it's got a flashback cost. Some very minor card advantage out of that. On a land, we will attack for 1. Opponent plays Ether Spellbomb, Flareon Academy. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pitch the Firebolt with the blood token. Find Jacked Rabbit. It's kind of cool. Back for 1. And we're just going to go ahead and play the Jacked Rabbit as a 1/2. Still makes tokens. Is this Tinker? Okay, Forensic Gadgeteer. That is fine. We can Winds of Abandon that guy. Attack. Make a rabbit. I mean, considering we had to mulligan to 3, we've got an okay board position, but our opponent is likely just going to play something that makes us concede on the spot. Talisman of Progress. Nexus of Becoming. Okay. That's the kind of card that puts us under a bit of a clock. On City of Traders, I think that we will just put that guy in the deck. Are they going to Spellbomb in response? No, they're going to Mystical Tutor to put Tinker on top. Well, that likely means that we just lose. All right, they Tinker. Let's see if it is Portal to Phyrexia again. I will sacrifice both the tokens and the vampire, keeping my Jacked Rabbit. They have a follow-up. It is Karn, Scion of Urza. Do they put a token into play? Yeah, they put a token into play. And then they get to put another token into play. They do not. Yeah. We will go ahead, concede there. Not bad. We went 2-1 in this league. Not so bad of a record. We had fun, and hope you enjoyed it. And if yeah, I don't know how to end videos yet. Have a great day.